G'day guys, it's the Pink King here and I'm back with another one of the AFL 2020 Premiership season. It's still round 4, we're into the Sunday games now, Easter Sunday, and it's the Sydney Swans versus Carlton Blues. Both teams on the wrong side of the ladder from their own point of views, I guess. Both outside the 8. Just get straight into it, I reckon. Alright, so Sydney versus Carlton. Finally a sunny day. Haven't had one all weekend, I feel. It feels like it's been raining all weekend. And looking at that, Sam Naismith in the ruck. Franklin in the centre half forward. Let's see how long that lasts for.
Today's match we have Sydney and Carlton.
I know that Franklin's been doing a lot of ruck work recently in this game, so we'll see how long. Oh yeah, good. That's real good.
The banners are looking great.
It looks weird. Not the right Carlton on it. Anyway. So Jack Martin's 100th game, by the way.
Good call, Hutto. The banners are ready for the players.
Cool.
The captains make their way into the middle for the toss.
Cool. Let's just do the toss already, thanks. Doherty and Rampy, they both look at the coin, and Rampy points to the right of screen. So we're good to go. Let's go. Let's do it. Ray bounces the ball in the middle, and we're off. Blues win the tap, but Curnow is wrapped up immediately. So Cruz has to win another one. A few wrapped up tackles there, quick on him, but Petrosky-Seaton's been done for throwing the ball. So Swans, they're looking to move it around a bit. Looks like they're sort of just going to go side to side at the moment. It's the most annoying thing in the game, in my personal opinion. They finally go short and then go forwards, and now they've socketed it forwards. So now it's almost in. Oh, George Hewitt's injured. Like I was saying, it's almost in their 50. Huge numbers around the ball for Carlton. Instead, they boot it forward to a 2-on-1. Still a 3-on-1 contest there. He runs inside 50, kicks it short, and a good mark by Charlie Curnow. So yeah, Blues were just flooding forward there. There was no one on Sydney's defensive or even midfield line that wanted to help out. There was just one bloke. Charlie Curnow hits the post. They could have pretty much run it straight into open goal, really.
Sinclair assessing the options.
It's like a 4-on-1.
He takes the mark.
Josh Kenny takes the mark just inside 50. He goes wide as well. He goes down the wing.
Takes that one strong.
Lewis Melican takes the mark and he goes sideways to the danger zone. 4-on-3. Numbers are good for Carlton, but somehow Sydney win it. They go forward. Oliver Florent, can he finally get it inside their 50? He hits it right to the top of the 50 where Jack Newnes takes the mark. So the answer is no, they can't get it inside 50. Actually, would that count, even though it wasn't their possession? I don't know. Anyway, Melican takes the mark on the wing. He goes sideways.
Melican takes it forward.
Cripps can't mark, and Petrosky-Seaton is tackled. So, ball up. Franklin's already in the ruck. It didn't take long at all. I called it. 2-on-1 goal side, but Franklin launches himself into the back of... I don't actually see who it was. Jack Newlands takes the mark, and we're going to move towards Carlton's forward line. Still on the wing though, and Sydney have the numbers, so they're going to run with it. 1-on-1. Forward flank, no mark. Big bump. Socket forward. Who's going to get there first? Now it's an inside 50. Swans pick up the ball. Socket forward, and they get a point out of it. So they finally go forward. finally get a possession inside 50 and
Scores level at the
or
moment.
disposal, I should say. He just socketed it off the ground. Lockie Plowman plays on.
Got boot to ball.
Sends it to the 50. Liam Jones is the one that takes them up. There's a few players trying to go for a fly there. Goes out the back where there's two Carlton players alone. Kicks into the centre. That's not a good kick. It's marked by Caden Brand. It doesn't matter though because it's quarter time. It's 1 point apiece. Might have a bit of a stern talking to there.
What stands out for you, Gaz?
Well, apparently Swans had 2 inside 50s. Carlton only had 1. I feel like they didn't have just 1, but that's fine. I guess inside 50 is just once the ball enters the 50, it's counted as inside 50. So they've had 2 to 1, 10 disposals, all uncontested possessions. How's that work? You get 10 disposals, but you have 10 uncontested possessions and 11 possessions. Or 11 contested possessions. So the possessions are double their disposals. 14 kicks to 9, 1 handball, 3 clangers to 5. What? Yeah, they've won all the hit-outs. Way more tackles from Sydney.
We're ready for second quarter action.
Not a whole lot happening for quarter time.
Cruiser hurls it away. Bounce works for Cooper.
Finally goes out Carlton's way. They got numbers. Tackled.
Picked up.
Still got a lot of numbers around the general area of play. They kick it inside 50. Is there a mark for Casbolt? It is.
Ball grabs that one.
Had to take on 2 players, but he did it. So this is the first. Is it the first mark inside 50? Maybe it's not. No, it wouldn't be. They kicked a set shot from the first point. Anyway, Casbolt kicks the goal.
That goal. The first goal of the day for Carlton.
So it was a first or something. It just wasn't first mark inside 50. It was the first goal of the day. It's 7-1.
The umpire set to bounce to reach.
Franklin still taking the rucks, even though he's a centre half forward.
Gains possession.
Pretty fucked.
What can you tell us, Gaz?
No wonder the bloody. I'm guessing they're 1 and 2, aren't they?
Laying a strong tackle.
I think they're 1 and 2. That would make sense. Well, anyway, Charlie Curnow picks up the ball off the ground and he boots it through for another goal. Yeah, that's why Sydney are 1 and 2 because Franklin's been playing all these fucking
Lead for Carlton.
playing in the ruck the whole game, well, pretty much the whole game, every game. They won the first game, which was a real game, so that's why they're 1 and 2 and not 0 and 3, I guess.
That goal will be Sydney giving up too much free space on the opposition.
Franklin gets done for throwing the ball. He managed to.
Franklin just
He lost the tap, but got the possession straight away, but then couldn't get rid of it properly. Goes forward to Carlton. Sydney run it back out, kick it wide. There's no one out there. This is deliberate. If it goes over the line, it won't though. And Carlton pick up the ball and put it into a dangerous spot.
couldn't quite with the
Big pack pushing it back against Sam Walsh. So now Sydney can go inside 50 and a mark from Tom Papley. So they haven't got a set shot, all because they decided to do a risky thing. And instead of going down the line, they centered the ball.
Papley.
And Papley's missed.
That kick goes offline.
Not sure if Carlton is if they've got a win or not.
11. Looking to bring it back into play. With a burst of speed. Sees it out of play.
And Lockie Plowman just manages to fucking run it out of bounds from the kick in.
Back in.
Franklin's still rucking against Cruiser. Cruiser gets the ball, handballs it out, goes to Carlton somehow. I think that's Eddie Betts. Yep, it was. Callum Mills gets injured, and out of all that mess, Carlton managed to clear it out. Lewis Melican with the marking contest gets a good bump in and takes almost an uncontested mark.
Collects the loose ball.
Still on the wing here. It's been on the wing for a bit now. Sinclair handballs forward. Franklin, he can kick it from there, and he's actually made the distance,
It's only a behind.
but he's inaccurate. It's 3 points to 13 so far.
It's under 2 goals now.
So
Plowman decides to go to
excited about it being under 2 goals, and there's only been 2 goals kicked for the whole match.
the footy.
Anyway, Sam Reid tries to take on a few players, and he does, and gets a handball straight to a Carlton player. It's Jake Silvani who gets marked as Callum Mills comes off. The captain comes back on the ground.
What do you make of the game so far, Gary?
I think Franklin might have won that one. George Hewitt gets tackled, it's a ball up. Cruiser, I think, won. And Kerno gets done for throwing the ball. So is there time for a score here? They kick too short, but it's marked by Jack Newlands anyway. So that's the end of the half. It's 2 goals, 1 plays 3 points. 10 points the difference at half-time. Carlton in the lead. Melican, no surprise there. He's been a major ball winner. He's probably going to end up with man of the match. The way that this game works out. I don't even know who Lockie O'Brien is, but he... And it's spelt with an O too, that's weird. He's got 3 disposals as well. Lockie Plowman with 2, Jack Newlands with 2. Goal kickers, Kerno and Casbolt both with 1. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Melican, Kerno, then fucking Newlands or something. Anyway, so finally someone other than Franklin's in the ruck. I think it's Naismith, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who number 10 is for Sydney. Anyway, Cruiser gets the handball out, and it's another goal for Carlton. This one coming from Jack Martin, the 100 gamer. And they're starting to get away from Sydney here. Sydney could be in a bit of strife.
The lead is now 16.
Selling Callum Sinclair playing as a midfielder.
And now they go. Kerno throws.
While I assume Naismith is in the ruck.
Looking to track down the footy.
Cade Simpson picks up the ball and gets tackled immediately. So another ball out, but 30 metres out. Carlton get the first possession. It's a 3-on-1 here, but Sinclair can't get it out. So it's a ball up.
Heads onto the ground. We'll get a ball up.
16 points the difference at the moment.
Punched away.
Ball comes to the point line. It's socket off the ground, and in the end, doesn't really go far at all.
What can you tell us at this?
Bowled up about 5 metres to the left of where it was before, as Aliir gets wrapped up for a ball up. Very congested game, this one. Cruiser handballs over his own head, and that was bad because Sydney have finally found the big sticks. Josh Kennedy slots it. It's 10 points the difference again as Sydney get their first goal.
Back in the middle to resume play.
Ooh, big fend off, boots it into the 50. This could be Sydney's time, but Newlands picks it up and makes sure that it's slowed down. It was Naismith, so Naismith's coming off for Franklin, who will be replacing him in ruck instead of, you know, the smart option is have Callum Sinclair replace him in ruck. But anyhow, I guess that's how the game works. Franklin versus Cade Simpson in ruck. Franklin wins it. Gets the ball back. That was a push in the back, but I think he'd already kicked the goal. It was heading goal like towards the goals. I'm not sure if it was going to be a goal or a point, but he definitely had the distance. And it doesn't matter because he lines up and he slots it from the set shot. So Franklin, he's been rucking most of the game. He's kicked the first goal, or not, sorry, his first goal of the game, and it's only 4 points the difference now.
Back in the middle now.
That's why you got to take your chances while you have them. Cade Simpson's still rucking for some reason.
Gets the loose ball.
Somehow Carlton still win the clearance. Gets down there. Casbolt can't take the mark and it's cleared out. Kennedy drops the mark. Don't know who that was, but they spilled it loose. It's back in on the 50. And Sydney managed to have the numbers running goal side. They'll clear it out. Franklin tries to pick it up. He gets tackled. Now we've got a bit of numbers around the ball for Carlton, but it's done throwing, so I think that was Lockie O'Neill. Was that his name? Last name was O'Neill? Lockie something. Luke Parker takes the mark. He kicks it forward. Big mark from Tom Papley. So late in the third quarter they can go in front. This will be big.
Not much time left in the quarter.
Yeah, he slots it, so they're up by 2 points. There's a minute left. Maybe a chance to score for either team, but it would have to be pretty clean from here. Franklin in the ruck against Cade Simpson again. Sydney win the tap, kick it forward. There's got to be a quick mark here. There's no mark. Franklin soccer's off the ground and the soccer won't make it to the goal. So it's 2 points the difference at three-quarter time. Sydney have come back real quick in that quarter. I think they let Carlton get 3 goals up before they started coming back.
Does anything stand out in the stats?
So they've kicked the last 3. Hit-outs 15-5, so Franklin's got some hit-outs against Cade Simpson. They're winning the inside 50s. They're winning the free kick count, they're winning the tackle count. I mean, everything's sort of going their way except for the hit-outs. Franklin probably is best on ground at the moment. Who was that kid that was... Oh, Tom Papley's also there as well. Who was... What was it, Melican? So it's probably, at the moment, I don't think I've seen 3 players from the same team all get best on grounds, like the top 3 votes. But if it's going to happen, it might happen today with Franklin, Papley, and maybe Sinclair. Anyway, let's get into it.
Let's see what this last quarter throws.
Few changes, back to the, I think, the normal rucks. It looks right. Cruiser and Naismith goes forward, and a mark from Eddie Betts. So he'll go back to take a set shot to put them back in front. They've spent most of the match in front, and they're back in front again. So they've spent about 5 minutes. All of about 5 minutes where they weren't in front.
So it goes back in front. Great bit of play. Back in the middle now as the rucks go.
Tapped down by Cruiser, gets it to, I think that was...
Murphy tries to gain some territory.
Can't even think of his name at the moment. Murphy kicks it forward. It's going to bounce into the 50. In the back from Callum Mills, but I think that was heading towards goal as well. I think that might have been a goal. So there's no advantage in this game apparently. Ball gets cleared out by Sydney. Soccered forward. There's numbers around the ball for Sydney, but it doesn't get to any of them. And then Carlton had players goal side of the ball. Caden Brand with a big strong mark. Last line of defence as Aliir takes the mark and clears it out of the 50. He sends it down the wing where it's marked by Zach Fisher. He goes central. Curnow takes the mark. Kenny move. Franklin's just come on for Naismith, so we're going to have Franklin in the ruck for the rest of the game. Here he comes. He's come straight off the bench, and they've got numbers streaming forward. I think that's Kennedy. Has he kicked the goal? He has. Josh Kennedy has put the Swans back in front by 2 points, and he'll be probably the best on ground as well. It's probably like Franklin, Kennedy, and I don't know who else. Betts out there first. He gets the ball first. Outruns, I think that was Rampy. Sends it into the 50. No mark taken. Franklin tries to run it out with 4 Carlton players trying to tackle him. He manages to get it free, and Sydney are away here, but it's marked by Lockie O'Brien. He's the other player that might be in the best players. He sends it back. Doesn't quite reach the 50. Soccered forward. It's now in the centre of the ground. A lot of things happening here. Cade Simpson gets done for a high tackle. Sydney are in front here, and they might be able to run off the clock if they get a good kick. They don't. It goes wide, real wide, out on the wing. Is it going to be beat? Yeah, Ed Curnow kicks it out of bounds. No one could get to it in time. Franklin in the ruck against, I don't even know who that is. Eddie Betts gets to the clearance, sends it forward, marked by Petrovsky-Seton. He has to move it. It's only 2.5 minutes to go. Sends it into the 50. Marked by Ryan Clark. That's a real good mark from Ryan Clark. That's probably going to ice the game out. A mark here will do it. There was no mark. Sent back in somehow. That's off the ground. Eddie Betts has just won Carlton another game. He's done this before. I can't remember who they won against. But the only other game they won was Eddie Betts kicking as the siren was about to go. He's done it again. So Carlton win another thriller by 4 points. I think that makes them 2-2. Well, they spent most of the match in front. They end up winning the inside 50 count. They've won the hit-outs easily. So let's look at best players. Eddie Betts will be in there. Lockie O'Brien could also be in there. And then it's probably Franklin or Sinclair or Josh Kennedy. Yeah, Eddie Betts, Josh Kennedy. Tom Papley was the third best. I would have thought Franklin would have got it over Papley, but I mean, that's a fair shout anyway. So that's almost spot on there. Almost spot on. I mean, Papley kicked one guy. I assume he must have got four disposals as well, just hidden by Caden Brand there. So yeah, Carlton spent most of the time in front, as you can see by that little worm down the bottom there. Spent most of the game in front. Sydney inched in front just as the third quarter ended, and then they got back in front for like a good part of that fourth quarter. But a goal late in the fourth quarter from Eddie Betts snatches the win for Carlton, which is the second time in 4 matches he's done that for them already. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed.